Welcome to the Dice Tower, a series of videos about games and the people who played them. And now, here's your host, Joe Steadman.
Joe Steadman, I got an overview of a game I want to show you. A little bit of it's not going to be a very thorough review, but it's kind of an overview to tell you what I think about this game. You know, my wife and I went to Origins this year down in Columbus, Ohio. Had a great time, and for the most part, I played war games. My wife played the designer Euro games. We played some together, but she kept on raving about this game and she wanted me to try it. It's called Tammany Hall by Doug Eckert. Stratomax Games. She kept on saying how much I would like it, and I was like, well, okay, whatever. I didn't believe her because when you quickly glance at this game, it's very Euro-ish, and I just don't typically like the Euro games. Although, look at all the wood that comes with this game. There's tons of wood. And I'm thinking, I don't know. But I was intrigued because she kept on telling me how much I'd like it. And the theme, it's Tammany Hall, which is the 1800s, New York City, the political way, the immigrants, and you've seen that movie Gangs of New York, which is kind of a really poor historical look at that, but that's that time period. So I thought, well, maybe. So finally, on Saturday, I finally sat down to play this game with her and a couple other gentlemen, and I loved it. I loved it so much that the designer of the game, who was happening to be walking by, I said, hey, I want to buy this game, but I'm leaving tonight. And so he went and got me a copy. I bought it right there in a spot from the designer, who actually signed my copy on the inside, but he signed it to my wife, to Monica from him. I think that's kind of funny that she liked this game so much. And I bought it. Now, I would look for this game to come out. I'm not sure. Stratomax Games is a fairly small company, but this game is worthy of the biggest designer companies out there. So I know it's going to be hard to get a copy of this. Now, he was telling me that he didn't have that many copies left in America, some copies overseas. But I would imagine that they're going to re-release this, or Rio Grande or one of these companies in the States is going to buy this and work with him. But the quality is exceptional. The board is very pretty. They used a historical map, and I'll zoom in and show you that in a minute. It's wood. You can't go wrong with wood. Oh. The rules are fairly well written. It's not that many pages of rules. 6 pages of rules, and we had a few questions on the rules that the designer of the game was able to show us right there as we were playing, and he posted. He's very active on Board Game Geek as far as clarification of rules and if you have questions and things. So kind of let me show you this game, how it works, just real briefly. It's not going to be a in-depth how to play. You need to learn that on your own, but I'll kind of show you the basics. Alright, so we got New York City here. We're going to be dealing with immigrants. And we got the Irish, which are green. Oh, it must be for Lucky Charms. The English, which are white. I'm not sure what's up with that. The Germans, who are orange. I don't know. And the Italians, who are blue. So we're having immigrants come in. And immigrants are going to go into different neighborhoods. Then each player is going to have bosses. And these bosses are these little wooden guys here. And you're going to be able to place bosses into different neighborhoods. And whoever's got the most bosses in that neighborhood is going to get the votes for that neighborhood. You're also going to have these influence. Now these influence are going to correspond with the color as immigrants, and each player is going to have influence in front of them that they gain throughout the game to have more influence with those political, with that group of people. And then in the center we have Tammany Hall itself, and that's going to give you double points. And so it goes in a sequence. So it's gonna be a game that's played in rounds like other Euro games. There's a sequence of play that each player takes turns doing right on the board. It's got little cheats like the old Avalon Hill games right here on the board I like. It's got your scoring track that goes around the board. Shows you how to set up and everything. And then it's got a little bit of a Puerto Rico flavor up here. At the end of the first round, whoever's the mayor, and that's going to be the person who's winning, is going to get to assign different positions or titles to different players, and each of those titles lets you break some rule. And so it's pretty neat. And we played it a few times at Origins. We played it more since. And it came for a very tight game. The mayor's a bad job. You think that winning the game at the beginning would be great, but once you're the mayor, you don't get any of these other cool jobs. And the first time we played, the mayor won, but not after that. Once we understood the game, it's tough to be the mayor. You can win, But that's it. I mean, it's evil. I've heard people describe it as evil because you are, once again, you're going to be playing direct confrontation with the other players. You're going to have to do things with them. You're going to have to, move into their neighborhoods and try to take them over and take over these different jobs. Like the chief of police can arrest different immigrants, or you can lock down neighborhoods so no one can get in and get out. You can actually slander each other. Each player is going to have a couple of these black cubes, and you can use these black cubes twice during the game to slander your opponent to try to take away his political power. So that's a lot of the things I like about the game. This is a designer Euro type style game that I thoroughly enjoy, and once again, it's because you're playing against the other players. You have to get people mad. You have to attack someone else politically or stealing their immigrants or whatever to win the game. You can't just pick your own little philosophy, how you're going to play, your own little strategy, and stick with it that entire game. And you just can't randomly choose each turn what you're going to do based on the circumstances. You have to have some type of way you're going to go for it. It's a great game. If you can find a copy of this, I'd pick up the copy, or you can contact Stratomax and see what their design, what their plans are. I think they were talking to someone about getting some more copies made, but I'm not really sure. But definitely, if you're the kind of gamer that likes a heavy type designer game that involves confrontation, this is your game. If you like Euro games for the social aspect, and you just like to have your little strategy and just have fun goofing around, you wouldn't like this game. You could possibly get pretty upset playing this game against your opponents if you take it too personal. But there you go. So see ya.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.